And hello again. Welcome to the Daily Templar Report with me, your guest presenter, Jim Dowson. This is what happens when you eat 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You become bilious. So apologies. Remember, like the video, click subscribe, press the bell, and comment below. And please do your job and share these videos as far and wide as you can. What's these things? Gab and TikTok and all these. I don't know what they are, but I heard Gab was hacked the other day. I don't go on these things, so I don't know what they are. But I heard Gab was hacked. I think we have a presence on it. Not much of a presence. We don't really get in for all that techie stuff. I mean, Facebook and YouTube was like, with to drag the order, kicking and screaming to go onto Facebook and YouTube. But I don't really understand most of them. I don't really like them. But anyway, let's go up here, brother, and say hello to some people. Let's say hello to the faithful. Colette Whitney, God bless you. Philip Milne, how you doing there in Scotland? Sean Smiley in Pittsburgh, God bless you. Nels R, God bless you, brother. Christopher Strid. Antonio Rebello, Ralph Rowley, Burt Myers Westover, who we got? Iwan Egerstrom, ENS Rejuvenation, Mr. Machocha, Jacob Lewis, God bless you, Henrik Johansson, Templar Guard, Paul Telford, Liverpool, God bless you, brother. Jim Thomas, how you doing? Brilliant, he's near Pittsburgh. Yes, been there, nice place. Darling stuff. Yes, got your share thing. Yep, excellent. You got some of them. God bless you, sister. Hope you do well. Troy Otto, Mike B. Freaking A. How you doing? From Canada. Bartley Burker, God bless you, dear brother. Stuart Duncan, Malcolm Cook, Miss Sherry B. Sierra Era, how you doing? Nicholas is in the room. How are you, Mr. Griffin? How are you? William DeChico from North America. What about North America? It's a big place. Give us your town. George Smith, how you doing? Darling stuff. Yeah, I've seen that. Very good. Alex Ryan, how you doing, Alex? I know another guy called Alex Ryan. I wonder if it's the same one. Don't know. General Andrew Carroll Carter, how you doing? God bless you, sir. And who else we got? Joseph Taylor, I see down there. I missed him. Joseph Florence, how you doing? Jimmy Peacock, how you doing? Scottish Templar Jimmy, aye, the new Jimmy. Angela Wright, how you doing? Nice to see you. And Kenneth Driver, good old fella, good old friend of ours. Scorpion, how you doing, Scorpion? God bless you, and may God keep his hand upon you. Scorpion's a good fella, do you know that? Really nice guy. Anyway, let us move on. What have I got in here? Don't know. Let us move on. I bought one of these cheap suits off the internet. It's got no flaps in the pockets. I thought they were tucked in. There's just none. See, you get what you pay for. Pay 20 quid for a suit, you're going to expect that. Right, let's get a wee bit of scripture here. Okay, I'm feeling much better, by the way, but my rash on my nose is coming back. So I've not got a drinker's nose, because I very rarely drink, but I have got really scabby, as they say in Scotland, nose. It's killing me. Right, we're in chapter 27 of the Proverbs, same as yesterday, and I'm going to read you verse 24. For riches are not forever, and doth the crown endure to every generation? Not really. People often say the grandfather builds a business, the son takes it over, expands it, and the grandson wrecks it. Isn't that the way? Normal family business go. So riches are not forever. So although everybody's doing well with the mining thing and all that, I get it, fine, brilliant. But riches are not forever. The only riches you should store up are your riches in heaven. And that's through the Lord Jesus Christ. And we make no apologies in this show for being absolutely hardcore Christian believers, gung-ho, Bible bashing, 100% national patriot with Christ at the head of our army. And may God bless the public reading of this, his infallible, inspired, and completely, totally, without question, inerrant word. Amen. And let's hear an amen from all the faithful out there. It's turned into a sermon, isn't it? I better get mixed up with my days. Amen, brothers and sisters. Amen. Okay, listen. Quite a bit to get through today, so let me... Oh dear, I don't even have a watch on. Oh my goodness, I'm falling to bits, folk. Right, I want to take you through some different stuff. Tomorrow, we've got a very special guest. He's a man who I would class as a mentor to me. Now, I didn't meet him when I was young. I met him in my 30s. But even the 30s are quite young. When I look back, I was a very different human being back then than I am now. But this man was a very high up guy. I was just a Mr. Nobody. But he was a very high up guy. But God had given me this drive to stand against abortion. And being a Protestant, I didn't know anybody who was really against abortion. I know it's different in America, but in Britain, every single person who's on the streets against abortion is Roman Catholic. And I grew up in a very sectarian environment where Catholics and Protestants didn't really mix. So I knew nobody. And this man and his family took me under their wing. Very devout family, very devout Catholic family. They have me at their dinner table most evenings with their 5 kids, 4 daughters, 1 son. Son's a priest now. And these girls, very, very, a lot of finesse and very well educated. They were out in the street with me, wrecking and tearing and biting and gouging and fighting and all that. I was used to it because I come from that background, but I'm sure this family were not used to it. But they were very brave and they always stood with me 100%. Even when the times get hard and the police were hassling this family and with all sorts of grief and people fall out with you for speaking to me. And then recently this man just went on to Facebook when I was allowed on Facebook and said, God bless you and your family, Happy New Year. He was removed from a top job as a director, an international director, removed because the newspaper said, this guy knows Jim Dowson and he seems to be friendly with him. Boom! Now he's won all that and all the rest of it. But it just shows you he wouldn't buckle and he wouldn't forsake his friends. His name is Mike Willis. You remember that name? Michael Willis. There's a picture of him. And he's an Englishman. Yes, an Englishman. And one of the finest Englishmen I have ever met. Quintessential English. Ever so posh. Wears a cravat. Oh yes. But a nice man. He's on the Templar Report tomorrow. And we're going to be talking about his book. And his book there is called Letters from the Cultural War. He's 100% down our line, 100% on board, and he's a good man and a man of great moral courage and great integrity. And as I say, he helped build the man you see before you now. He was a great mentor. He still is a great mentor to me. And a lovely, lovely family. Him and his wife, Nikki. Nikki's a Dutch lady. 2 brothers are priests. They have been almost like parents to me. Great people. God bless them. And I hope everybody tunes in tomorrow to listen to Mr. Willis. Look forward to it. Okay, what else have we got today? A few things to talk about. What will we talk about first? I think we'll show you the pictures, Techie brother. I want to show you some pictures of our first mining rigs. Now remember, we've done all this jig time because we had to get all the money in and buy this stuff and all the rest of it. But here is some of our first mining rigs, causing chaos because we're having to get industrial fans in to remove the heat and you don't want to know. Nightmare. As if we didn't have enough on our plate with building the chapel and building the chapter house. Good grief. Now we've got this to contend with. So the builders are in pulling walls down and punching big, huge industrial fans and extractors. But look at them. They're like something out of, I don't know, some of a science fiction movie. It's like something Carpenter, what do you call it, James Carpenter or something would do. James Cameron. It's like Alien or something. But they're all buzzing away, mining, I don't know how it works, but they're all digging up there in the... I don't know what they're doing. Right? I don't know what they're doing, but there's money coming in. So that's what they're doing. They're doing all that stuff. And remember, we're in this for the long haul. We're looking at a 3-year plan with this because I think the coins in the next few months will maybe crash. So don't panic. Don't worry. That's great news. Yeah. Oh, yes. There you go. Kit Bear knows what he's talking about. Kit Bear in here. He knows his stuff. He knows what we're at. He knows what we're about. Very clever guy. Good on you, Kit Bear. Well, you know what we're doing. You'll know what all that represents. There's going to be about 6 times that shortly. All operating. We're going to be drawing all the power from the national grid. But it's good if it crashes. Don't panic. Say, oh my goodness, oh my shares. No, it's rejoice. Because if it crashes, we can dig even more. It's no good for us when the price is way up at the moment. But once we've dug a lot at a low price, then the price goes up again. We're cracking. We flourish, yes. The techie guy says we flourish in instability. So we're kind of on an industrial scale with this now. Quite incredible. So that's it. So we'll crack on with that. But I hope you like the pictures. For people who've got the shares, give it a couple of weeks. You'll get an email out this week just saying everyone's fine. But because the companies are new, they need the stationery and all that stuff. So that's going to take a few weeks. But you'll get your letter out and your certificate. Keep it safe, but it doesn't matter if you lose it because you're already logged in and then you wrote in the books and all that stuff anyway, and you're all logged anyway, so it doesn't matter if you lose it. But it's nice to have, frame it, put it in your wall. It's a nice certificate. So that's it. Everything's going well. God bless you all. And that's what we need. We need a windmill. We need a windmill on top of the priory roof. But don't worry, we'll solve all the issues. It's new to us as well, remember. It's new to us. It's a new thing. So, we're learning as we go. Yeah, Bitcoin's estimated to be £500,000, $700,000-800,000 before 2030. Now that's in a few years, 9 years time. But remember, after this 3-year period that we're talking about is up, You know, there could be dividends even in the second year, but certainly in the third year. But you'll have a choice. Do you just cash in your shares, get your money and run? Do you take some dividends, leave the shares and keep the shares running for your kids and all the rest of it? Or do you take some dividends and then at that time we'd have to expand vastly the share capital so we can buy more kit in to do more mining? So you keep some dividends, put the rest into new shares. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not an accountant, but we will have accountants and professionals who know all of this stuff and who will write a prospectus, and then we'll take a decision with you because you're part of this, you're a shareholder. So you'd have to give your vote on what we do after 3 years, because I think we're only at the beginning of the big time in 3 years. I think we'll do well, but I think as time goes on, this could be a continuous thing. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll take it one stage at a time. You know, remember a few years ago you could buy 5,000 Bitcoin for £100. Now, 9 years on, one Bitcoin is worth £35,000, $50,000. You could buy them. You could buy 5,000 for £100 9 years ago. So 9 years' time, who knows what's going to happen. But it's up to you to make a decision. You cash your shares in, you keep them, take dividends for the rest of your life. It's up to you. Yeah.
That's it.
Gain interest in blockchain. Yeah, Kit Bear knows what he's talking about. Yep. He knows. So it's entirely up to you. You pay your money, you take your choice. It's up to you. But we will try and advise you as best we possibly can. And when you get the perspective of what we're advising, it's always good. And feel free to pass it through the eyes of an independent advisor yourself. But, you know, we'll always try and keep you right. But it's exciting times. I could have been doing without it, to be honest with you, because I don't want the Magdalen Chapel or the Donard Priory suffering. And tomorrow we'll maybe talk about the funding for that, because we still need to keep the boot on that. I know it's difficult, but we don't want the Lord's work suffering because we've all went crypto coin crazy. So there we are. Yeah. It's my investment plan. Good. Scorpion, John, I hope it really works. And I know it will work, but I hope it works magnificently for you. God bless you. Right, I want to bring some stuff to you. What was I going to bring there? What was it? Oh, there's a couple of things. As I said the other day, and it's causing a lot of problems with people, is these demonstrations. Not just, well, I'm going to talk about Ireland in particular, but I know there's demonstrations in America and the Trump stuff and all the rest of it. And a couple of people have said, what are you talking about? You know, we need to fight to the bitter end and all that. Look, you know, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Remember that? Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. And you remember yesterday I read your part of the Bible. It said, a prudent man foreseeth, that means sees it coming, the evil and hides himself, gets out the road. But the simple, the stupid, pass on and are punished. They suffer the consequences. So, listen, you could not ever accuse the Templars of being cowards or being frightened of a fight. It's a stock and trade. But we pick our fights wisely. And you have to be wise. And what I worry about is people who are not built for fighting getting involved in fighting, because that's stupid. You know, if you're a frail, weak person or you've got big responsibilities, the last thing you want to be done is getting thrown in jail for 6 months for riotous assembly or a fray or something like that. You've got to be very, very careful what you get involved with. I know people are frustrated. I understand people are angry. But when you go out in the streets, who are you out in the streets with? Because what happens is there is a certain element in our societies. Everybody's in America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, Germany, France, you name it. In every country, there is an element who will turn up at anything that's on the street to fight, to cause trouble, to attack the cops. Simple as that. Now, I've been in Dublin. I was in Dublin several years ago, marching through Dublin with my own people from the north. There was a huge riot. And most of the people throwing bricks at us had no idea why they were even there. They just wanted to have a riot. And there's people like that. So when you go on the street and you think you're doing your democratic duty, getting on the street and telling the government you're not happy about them, you're on the street also with a lot of people who have no interest in the politics. They just want to attack cops. And then we turn around and we blame the cops for getting a bit rough and battering folk with batons. They've got families, they've got wives, they've got children. They want to go home that night safe and sound with their 2 eyes and most of their teeth. So they ain't going to take, they're nobody's punch bag. I've got quite a lot of family who are in the cops. And they ain't going to take that nonsense. We've got a lot of members in the Templars who are law enforcement officers. Why should they be taking that garbage off people? You know, it's not good enough. You know, so they throw things at the cops and then complain about them when they get hit over the head with a baton. You can't do that. Look, I've been battered senseless with the police and the army on the streets of Belfast. But I've been throwing things at them. I've been doing things in the old days, in the Troubles during the writing. So you cannot complain if you throw something and a cop comes over and batters you over the head with his truncheon. That's how it works. I've never complained. A couple of years ago I got bit with a police dog, nearly ripped my hand off. But I was in a place where you shouldn't be. Everybody was told to disperse. I wouldn't disperse because I thought, no chance, it's my democratic right to be here, which it was. But a police dog doesn't understand the law. A police dog has no conception of democracy. And it jumped up and almost ripped my arm off. Hideously painful, ended up in hospital, stitches. Oh, it's horrible. But that's the way it is. Did I complain? No, I never. Because I put myself in a riot zone. I wasn't personally rioting or doing anything bad. I was there as an observer. But I was in a place where you shouldn't be if you don't want to run the risk of being hurt. I was hurt. That's the way it is. And the inspector came over and he said, do you want to make a formal complaint? I said, no, you've got enough to deal with. There's bricks and bottles and everything flying, even gunfire. I said, you've got far more to complain about than me. I'm a big boy, don't worry about it. And that's it. Take it in the chin, forget about it. Ridiculous. But I want to show you something. Yeah, I'm sure Colette Whitney, a lot of people are missing church services and that's terrible. Anyway, watch this video. Let's see this video for a wee moment. Okay, so did you see that guy in the white top? Now we'll show you another video in a minute where you see him with a big stick, pre-prepared, firing a firework right at the cops, the policemen's faces. Now everybody's now saying on the so-called right, but I've got to explain something. Most of those people out there have been described as right-wing. They're not. They're in a group called the Yellow Vests, which is basically a bunch of raging, crazy, eco, pro-abortion, pro-gay liberals who for some reason or other, because they stand for free speech, everybody thinks they're right wing or conservative. They are not. They are not. And everybody's saying now, oh, that was an agent provocateur. That was one of the police dressed up to do it. Well, you've seen the guy quite clearly there with his mates. And look at them all with their short hair all brushed. They're just, young guys. They might be scum. They might just be young men being stupid. I was a young man once, and I'd have probably been in there not doing that because I think that's extremely dangerous and not justified firing that. The cops weren't firing bullets at them, and so it was unjustified, or plastic bullets even, which we get in Belfast. They weren't doing that in Dublin, so it was unjustified. So, when I was a young fella, I might have been out there, maybe could have thrown something at the cops. Yes, of course. So you don't know whether they are just young, stupid boys or just professional street yobbos, hooligans, thugs, trash. I don't know. But there's no way that guy was a Gardaí officer, because that's what they call the police in the south, Gardaí Síochána, Guardians of the People or something. There's no way that guy was set up. That guy was just one of those guys. I mean, you've seen him with his mates there and they're all laughing and running. But you'll see it from a different angle. You watch this video.
Oh shit. He's aiming it right at them. Oh my god, he's aiming it at them. Oh my god.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.
It's still going on.
Look at this.
Okay, now you see what he actually done. So he's got a big stick with a rocket or something, some kind of firework explosive thing. Yeah, candle, aye. Roman candle, and he fires it right at the cops, right at their heads. Let me tell you something. Those cops have got families. They have children. That man wants to go home that night and see his children, not be blinded for the rest of his life and never see his kids or his grandkids or his wife again. That policeman wants to go home in one piece. Why shouldn't he? It's ridiculous. Now, I'm no friend of the police. I've had terrible bother with them over the years. You've no idea. But fair's fair. And the police in Ireland are no messing about. Like the English police would have ran the other way. They'd have ran away. I mean, I've got videos. I can show you videos of the police running up the street being chased. In Ireland, the police are a wee bit tougher because they're Irishmen. They're a wee bit handy with the jukes. You know what I mean? You fire a rocket at an Irishman's face, he's going to come at you. He's going to come at you roaring. If we fired it at a policeman in the north in Belfast, the plastic bullets would have been out. They'd all been lying decked. I can assure you, very few of them would have been running away. They'd have been limping at best. So, but everybody, so-called in the right wing, and this is what I'm saying, we've got to separate out these crackpot, liberal, yellow vest type, free speech, blah, blah, blah. Separate these people out from the conservative right wing, because they're not part of us. If you ask them, they're pro-abortion. They are pro-LGBT. They are pro this so-called blanket free speech. And they're pro all these liberal mantras, and a lot of them are environmentalists. How are they associated with us in any way, shape or form? And they're like the left because they're like bitches. And I use that word in the colloquial term. They are little bitches. They attack the cops, and then when the cops retaliate, they start moaning and they want something done about it, and they want to get the policeman sacked and everything. If I was a policeman and you fire a rocket at my face, I'm going to come after you with that club and I'm going to snap it over your skull. Simple as that. Don't do it. It's ridiculous. So every single nationalist organisation in Ireland is condemning the police. Everyone, apart from Sean Ahern, who we're friendly with. They're the only people with any brains or any sense. Everybody's saying it's a conspiracy, an agent provocateur done it. Yeah, maybe, because Antifa was in amongst that crowd, because they're the same people. Antifa, pro-LGBT, pro-abortion, pro all this ridiculous nonsense of free speech. They don't allow anybody else to speak. You know that, but that's their mantra. And pro-environmentalists, no. It's the same mindset. Some of them have Antifa, some of them are yellow vest. Same people. Same people. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. The English cops run away from BLM and the Muslims, but they attack the white people. Yeah, we know that. It's terrible, but that's what we're getting. So every single group in Ireland at the moment is all attacking the police. Look, can you not understand you've been led by the nose by the cultural Marxists whose job it is to destroy a stable society? And part of that is to destroy the family. They've done that. Destroy the church. They've done that. And then to destroy law enforcement. They're busy doing that. And you out there, if you're watching this and you're one of them, you are stupid enough to go along with it because you have no brain and you cannot think logically for yourself. Yeah. You know, officers in England are frightened to lift a baton to anybody of a particular skin hue because they'll be accused of racism. That's another problem. But this is the prop. This is it. I'm fed up with it. You know, I'm fed up with it. I've got cousins, brother-in-laws, and extended family who are all police officers. Some are prison officers. Most are police officers. And I don't even like some of them, to be honest. But they do a difficult job in a difficult situation. They don't decide what they're going to do. They're told what to do and they've got to go and do it like everybody else in life. And to be attacked like that in the street when the police weren't doing anything particularly violent is unacceptable. And if you're trying to make a political point and then to fire rockets at policemen's faces, that's it. So what I'm saying to the decent folk who maybe get drawn into these things is be very careful. Because when you're on the street with a mob, you're in that mob with these kind of boys, nasty people. And the police have no idea who's who. So when it all kicks off, the police just run in with the batons and they hit everybody. And you might be a very nice woman or a very nice gentleman and you're going to get your face smashed in and end up with reconstructive surgery on your cheekbones or on your skull or on your jaw. And you'll say, why did they do that to me? I wasn't going to cause trouble. How do they know that? If you're on the street and these people are there, you know, you really are without excuse. So be very, very careful. Be very careful. Now, I also wanted to bring you a wee bit of news coming out of Ireland as well. There's a couple of famous people in Ireland. One's called Gemma O'Doherty. She's into this QAnon, big conspiracy woman. She sees herself as the leader of the right in Ireland. She's not right. She's not right the slightest. She sent an email once to a leading sort of trans person saying that she was standing for election. She really supports them. She would love their endorsement and all the rest of it. Really? And you're supposed to be a leader of the right in Ireland? I don't think so. And she's one of these free speech advocates, and you know the type, chemtrails, 5G, blah, 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 QAnon, that QAnon stuff. And by the way, just in case you don't know, a lot of that QAnon stuff is done by the Secret Service, by CIA, FBI, MI6, MI5. That's who's pushing all this stuff out, because they get people that wrapped up in nutty conspiracies. They're not actually looking at the problem right in front of their faces, which our civil and religious liberties have been stripped from us from the first time in 400 years. This is the reason people went to America in the first place, because we've lived through this, my American friends. We lived through this and we said no more. And we went in our hundreds and thousands and millions from the shores of the old countries, from Ireland, from Scotland, from England, from Germany. And we went across the ocean and formed a new country, the best country the world had ever seen. The closest man has ever came to building heaven on earth, and it's called the United States of America and Canada. How do you think you ended up there? Because 400 years ago, despotic kings stripped away every right that we had fought hard for. And we packed our bags and left. Somebody said to flee. We had no time to pack our bags. We just had to go what we stood up on. And we survived. And we worked through these, our hands, and a strong heart. We carved a nation out of a wilderness. Yes, some of my blood went into the Shenandoah Valley, the Appalachians. And they carved a new world, and then they went on to Missouri, and then from there they went on to the Rocky Trail, and away into the west of America. That's what our people did. Because we had no choice, my friend. Because our civil and religious liberties had been stripped from us. And that's exactly what's happening today. So this is nothing new for us Europeans. We've seen this time and time again. It might be a big shock to you Americans, but we have lived through it. Our people have lived through it. And it's now happening all over again. And it never ends well. And you can never get these people out without a horrible civil war or revolution. That's it. Go, if you don't believe me, read your history books. Have you ever seen an occasion where despots who have took over and stripped everybody of their rights suddenly come to their senses and think, oh my goodness, we've been behaving appallingly. Okay, I think we should give the power back to the people. Yeah, we've been very wrong in this. We're so sorry. So sorry, everybody. Sorry. We'll give you back your power and your political freedoms and your religious freedoms and your personal freedoms. Have you ever in the history of the world ever heard of that happening? No? Neither have I. But that's what's going to happen. That's what's happening. I'm afraid that's what's going on right now in this world, especially in the West. We're in a very precarious situation. So just be careful, because these people understand that if the people rise up, they're finished. So they will jail. They will first of all they will attack, then they will arrest, then they will jail, then they will re-educate, and finally they will kill anybody who stands in their way. So be careful. These people are not pretending. They're not play acting at this. This is for real. The lockdown's for real. Everything's for real. So they will do whatever they think necessary to keep us under pressure. So be very, very careful. Let me just check my time, folks. Where are we? Oh, we're doing no bad. We're doing no bad. Now, the second book. Remember, I think I don't know if there's a link up for it. We'll put a link up for a minute. The large print Bible. Please get some of them. Don't know where it's went. Don't know where it's went. Anyway, the second print of the book will be with us very shortly. So please get your orders in for that. Okay. If there's anybody on here who hasn't already got one of these, the Deuce Vault Reconquista of the West, the beautiful cover and everything, please make sure you get that as soon as possible, because these are all in stock. Look at them all here. Look, I've got masses of them sitting here. There you go. There's loads and loads of them. I've got thousands of them, actually. Literally thousands of these in stock. So if you want any more of these, or you don't have one already, please get yourself them. They're being dispatched every single day. They're great. They're brilliant. You know that. All the typos, all the mistakes have been fixed, and there's 20 extra pages and about 10 or 15 extra pictures in it. So it's slightly different. Well, it's the same book, but just tidied up, and some more pages put in, just wee bits and bobs in the preface, and some new pictures put in at the back. So, let's go, because these books are having a big effect right across the board. And again, we must thank our supporters, our members first, and our supporters and our friends for making all of this possible. It's quite incredible. Paul Jarish. Paul Jarish, that's the man I'm looking for. Paul, we checked yesterday. I was meant to phone you today, actually. I had it wrote down, got it in my diary. We checked yesterday. I can't come to Missouri because the minute I arrive in America, and this is government, I have to spend 7 days in quarantine. And I think that's at the airport. I don't even think that's where your destination is. I don't know. But anyway, you have to spend 7 days in quarantine. And then when I come back into the UK, I have to spend, is it 10 or 14? 10 to 14 days in quarantine. And anyway, before I even go to America, I've got to have a certificate that I'm being clear of COVID for X amount of time, which I've not been because I've been in hospital. And I've got to have a certificate of vaccination, which, well, let's just say I can't get a vaccination anyway because I'm just out of hospital. So you've got to wait a month before you even get that, if I was ever going to get it. So there's no way. Can't do it. Can't do it, brother. Can't do it. Need to wait till your lockdown's over and you're allowing foreigners in. No doubt if I came from Mogadishu, I'd be fine. But that's the reality of it. If you go to your own government's website, you'll see your rules, your national rules for foreigners coming into your country. Now, it's a wee bit different if Americans are coming back, but I'm a foreigner, I'm not American, so we only found that out yesterday. It's terrible. It's awful. Yep, it's no good at all. William DeChico, well done. Another guy with some shares. Listen, you know, it's incredible. It's an incredible phenomena, this whole crypto mine. That's why we had to get the other company up and running. So it's really going well. But don't panic. It's fine. Everybody's going to get a share. Don't worry. We want to make sure nobody misses out. Okay, so don't worry about it. And if you have any worries, just give us a call. So that's where we are. It's not so good. Gary Hardwick says, what does he say? Those who must attend an 80% complete and also brother is that a COVID delay. Is there a COVID delay clause? Don't worry about it. I mean, the COVID delay will maybe last till, what do you reckon, about April, May?
Yeah.
Probably by April, I think we'll all be clear. May certainly, absolutely.
Once the restrictions off, we'll be gearing up to have the...
Yeah. We've already said that. I said this weeks ago, didn't I? I told you. I said you might not know this in America yet, but nobody will be doing anything this side of the end of April, May. So we were already planning the conference end of May, beginning of June. That's what we've already said. So that's the conference everybody's paid up for. I think there's 150 folk paid up for it in Houston. So that'll probably be late May, early June. Okay? Late May, early June. Houston conference. So don't forget that. Okay? And then we can plan the night and ceremony probably for September, October. Okay? So it'll be fine. And then we'll no doubt go back into some kind of lockdown again for October, November. Guaranteed. It's terrible. I know, but there we are. That's the way it is. And what can we do about it? We have to be calm. We have to be clever. We have to work around what they're trying to do. So they're throwing spanners in the wheels. We have to try and pull the spanners out, and that's all we can do. Okay. Remember, we still have swords in stock. For once, we actually have swords in stock. So if you want a sword, please get one. I think our brother will stick a wee link up for us. It's already up. So get yourself a sword if you don't have one, because it's not that long until we have a night and ceremony, and it's good if everybody's got their sword. So there you go. And remember, they're on the payment system, so don't worry.
Sean Smiley, can you remember sign up for the conference? Not just yet, whenever we...
Oh yeah, so okay, so for the conference, because obviously some folk will drop out and whatnot, we'll probably start putting this month, in March, we'll probably start putting the conference back up again, because a lot of new members, obviously, who can sign up. So give it a couple of weeks, Sean, and we'll have a page up for people wanting to book in. We're dealing with a hotel, everyone's chaos. It's just chaos. But when we've secured the hotel and secured maybe, I think we'll go for an extra 50 places, so we'll get about 200 folk in it. We'll put the page up where folk can book in for the conference, the meal, the gala meal, and their accommodation. So give it a couple of weeks and that'll be it. Okay? God bless you all. Right, well that's all from me. Remember tomorrow, Mike Willis, a great and mighty man, very humble man, very nice man. He's on tomorrow, so please mark that in your diaries. Please don't miss it. I want you to be introduced to this man. It means a lot to me. He's a great friend and a great mentor. So we'll see him tomorrow in the will of God, and I shall be back tomorrow, God willing. But until then, remember, as I've always told you, and I mean it even more every time I say it, stick close to God. You won't go far wrong. Dus Vault.